It is February 25th. It is day 36 of the Trump presidency. And we have a lot to cover, as always, because we get zero breaks here on this planet. The barrage of news is coming at us like a fire hose nonstop. So open wide, babe. So the top story for me tonight is not getting a whole lot of press, although there are major publications reporting on this, like CNN. Trump has a bruise covering his entire hand, and he's been appearing in public with this bruise covering his entire hand. Now, those of us who have had loved ones in the hospital, especially if they were elderly, understand that that is almost certainly from IV insertion, especially if they're having difficulty inserting an IV. Interesting. There is no world in which the excuse the White House press secretary gives is actually the truth. Because what they said that bruise was from shaking hands too much. I am dead fucking serious. That is what they said. Go look at the bruise. It's literally the entire back of his hand. It's uniform. If, let's say, I know he shakes hands like a crazy person, okay? So perhaps if it was like fingerprints, like trying to escape or like clawing into him to try to get away, I would maybe believe that. But it's the entire fucking back of his hand. Unless he slammed his hand in between two large stone objects, or he fell with his full 400 pounds directly onto the front of his hand. There's just no way. I mean, it would have been a better story. They should have said he slammed his hand in a car door. They should have made something up. It was a weird lie to say that that's from shaking hands, because also, is he on an extreme amount of blood thinners? Can no one touch him? Is his skin paper thin? Like, what's going on? Anyways, the mystery is out there, and perhaps there is more to the story. He still will not release his health report, just for the record. I am not shocked. 20 civil service employees resigned from Doge today. I'm super proud of them. They made public statements about it. They said that they were not willing to dismantle critical public services. And they also said that they swore to uphold the Constitution. They swore an oath. Period, point blank. And we need more people willing to make this kind of sacrifice. I understand that that's difficult. I understand that people have bills to pay. I know this is a really scary, messed up time. That being said, anyone that is working directly with Doge is also not safe. You know? I mean, it's not like they couldn't just like wake up and fire you anytime, at any point, for any reason, regardless. And they will, and they keep proving that they will. You know, like if Elon takes a bad batch of ketamine and he just feels like it. Speaking of a bad batch of ketamine, I think I'm on one because the FAA, the Federal Aviation Association, has begun installing Starlink equipment at their facilities. And this is basically a prelude to a potential $2 billion contract with Elon, who, ironically, has been dismantling the FAA. Huh. Funny how that works. This keeps happening. So weird. You know what else is weird about that? Tesla is having a horrible time. And Elon doesn't have any cash. All of his money is tied up in Tesla. It's like a third of his net worth, okay? And Tesla is rapidly tanking. And if he doesn't have, sorry, my neck is still bothering me. If he doesn't have something to replace that, he will not be able to continue to borrow, because he is basically, his borrowing is essentially taxed already. Like he is absolutely maxed out on borrowing right now. I watched a whole video about it today. Essentially what I'm saying is Elon Musk is actually broke. I understand that he's technically the richest man in the world, but that's complicated. And it's not going well for him. His stocks and the purchase of Teslas across the world right now are rapidly sliding down. I am really sad to hear this. I understand why. Ukraine has, it appears, agreed upon a deal with the United States. they're going to be giving them the minerals that they've asked for. I mean, I believe that what's happening here is Zelensky is falling on his sword to try to save Ukraine, which is super honorable, and I understand why he's doing it. He's doing all of this with a gun to his head. It's not a good situation. I'm worried that it's not going to work anyways. I'm worried that it's going to be one of those situations where the bully takes your lunch money, but then tries to take it again every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to stop them, and they're certainly not going to honor any agreements that they make. And when I say they, I mean US and Russia. Well, can we just like split apart already? Because I don't want to be associated with this. Speaking of not wanting to be associated with this, Mike Johnson is really struggling to get support for the budget bill, even from Republicans. They may have to postpone the vote on the budget bill because there's a lot of pushback. The really intense and aggressive cuts to taxes for millionaires and trillionaires and billionaires and basically all the wealthy people, the wealthiest corporations, it's going to increase our debt by quite a lot. And even Republicans are saying it's too far. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. The White House made an official statement saying that they're going to decide which news organizations get to cover Trump and the White House moving forward, and that they will not necessarily allow access to the traditional news organizations that always have covered Trump. Meaning it's going to be like OAN News. Do you know what I mean? It's literally going to be whoever they want it to be, whatever obnoxious, silly, not real news organizations. And honestly, my very first thought was, the way that the news has used Trump and rode on his coattails for clicks and views and not called him out properly over the years. I mean, some of them are starting to do it now, but too little too late. It's almost like karma for them. And especially the way that they're folding and they're firing literally all of their Asian and Hispanic and Black network hosts. Good. You know what? If they fall apart, if they lose access, if they lose everything, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care. The news organizations that I care about, that I continue to read, are NPR, PBS, the AP, BBC, and Al Jazeera. That's pretty much where I get the news for this show. I look at all 5 most days, unless I'm in a huge rush, and then I'll typically look at 3. And also, if there's breaking news on TikTok that, unfortunately, takes way fucking longer to hit mainstream media. If there's anything there that I've heard about, I, make note of that and try to look it up later. So, again, mainstream news, unfortunately, in so many ways, because they refused to maintain their own integrity, and they try to toe the line so that they can keep making money. Don't do that. A narcissist is not going to... Again, they don't have any agreement with anyone. So you may try to kiss Trump's ass and still get tossed out. Happens every day. Are you watching? Casey DeSantis, Ron DeSantis' wife, is, I guess, running to be his successor in Florida. I mean, honestly, Florida is not doing well. Florida is facing the craziest real estate crisis. People are saying it's going to be way worse than 2008. There are currently, this is crazy, there are currently 2 million empty homes in Florida. Empty. The number of homes on the market, even in small counties, is through the roof, and people aren't buying because they can't get insurance for these properties. Rent prices and home prices are just tanking. It is not a good time. I mean, I see video after video after video on TikTok of real estate experts, real estate agents there saying, if you're trying to sell, you need to get out now and you need to take literally whatever you can and you need to just deal with it. because if you wait any longer, it's going to get worse. So, anyways, if they want to oversee the fall of their state, which they've been instrumental in this. They, turning away FEMA funds, not working. They need better infrastructure. I mean, anyways, whatever. At some point you kind of have to wash your hands of it and say, okay. I mean, I'm horribly sad for people that are stuck there. I'm sad for all of us. I'm stuck here too. Women, yes, all women are probably going to be zip tied and forcibly removed, but there was a woman who was zip tied and forcibly removed from a Republican-led town hall in Idaho 2 days ago. I saw the video. It's really horrifying. They had some sort of creepy bouncer dudes at the town hall. I mean, so much for free speech, but obviously, again, we knew this was coming. There's no surprise in it for me. I think a lot of people are still feeling the shock of realizing that there's almost no recourse for this stuff. There's no one coming to save us, and there's nothing stopping them. I mean, there's bits and pieces, but we're going to talk about this in a couple stories again. Even if there's legal repercussions for them, the question is always, okay, and now what? When they forcibly remove a woman by zip tying her from that town hall, will anything happen to those people? I will bet so much money that the answer is no. So you just need to understand that the world you're moving in is not the world you were moving in a couple months ago. It's just simply not, period. Trump came out and made a statement saying that Musk's email to the federal workers saying that they must respond by Monday, 2 days ago. So we've already passed that deadline, with what they did last week, for work, that it's somewhat voluntary, but if you don't respond, you will get fired. Do they have the legal ability to do this? Again, no. Does it matter? Also, probably no. And also, it's too late. So for people who maybe didn't respond, they could be in a bad situation. Is it better to just get fired now, though? I mean, I know a lot of people put their whole heart and soul and lives into these jobs. But, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So maybe perhaps someday they'll get them back. Who knows? A million things could happen. But I don't think working in that environment is going to be a great experience anyways, to be honest with you. We need those people. But we need a lot of things we don't have right now. Ticket sales at the Kennedy Center have dropped 24%. And actually, that was several days ago. I tossed that in there because I saw another line about, or another headline about the Kennedy Center. Artist after artist after artist is canceling the show since Trump took over the Kennedy Center. And, I think that they're horrified. It's really sad. It's a historical institution, and, he's destroying it. Well, just like he does everything else. Unfortunately, I don't know what else there is to say. Speaking of destroying it, he is destroying the economy. Consumer confidence is at its lowest since during the pandemic, all the way back to 2020. And honestly, that doesn't surprise me at all. And, they're looking at data. They're looking at how much people are spending. They're looking at if people are spending. They're looking at, all of the data. A lot of stores are in a huge slump. We already talked about how Walmart's coming out making statements about how their reports for the year were totally wrong, and they're revising them and making them much lower. Yeah. Turns out that when you fire probably over 1 million people, at least when all is said and done, maybe more, and you slap tariffs on absolutely everything, and you completely destabilize literally everything, people don't want to go out and spend money. They want to hide it under their mattress because they don't know what the fuck is going on. Also, when you tell banks that they don't have to pay people back because, You destabilize banking regulations so that the money doesn't even have to really be in there. People might not want to put their money in the fucking banks anymore either. So sadly, the odds of an asteroid hitting the Earth have now fallen to zero. I didn't open the article. I was too depressed about that. I'm just kidding. I mean, am I? I don't know. But we're not going to die that particular way yet. Not yet. This is so stupid. Trump is selling a gold card for citizenship. It sounds like I'm making it up, okay? But I'm not, okay? You got to go look it up. But I know, it's just so dumb. He's selling citizenship to whoever for millions of dollars. People were asking him, like, would you sell this to, like, Russian nationals and people who are, you know, not supposed to be here? And he said, yeah. For enough money? Yes. Absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. However, if the person is black, probably not. If the person is Asian, probably not. It's just whoever he wants here, I'm sure. And if they're white, come on in, babe. If you have millions of dollars, step right up to the plate. Just horrifyingly embarrassing. I don't have words. Trump is planning to fire a bunch of the workers that were funded by the CHIPS Act, and people who are very intelligent and know a lot about the CHIPS Act are all absolutely flipping their shit. Because really, okay, I wish I could do a better job of explaining the CHIPS Act to you, but essentially it's making the United States competitive internationally with China when it comes to the chips that are in all of our phones, all of our computers, all of our cars, everything that we need. And what he is about to do is going to undo all of the work that was done by the previous administration to try to like level the playing field a little bit. And it's going to tank the tech industry. It's going to make us not competitive on the world stage. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have some sort of like weird, stupid backup plan, or if it's just like directly like, oh, Elon Musk is going to do this. Probably. They haven't made any announcements like that yet. And they haven't actually, I don't think they've started to fire those workers. It's just that everyone is absolutely losing their minds over this because it's really, really important to our economy that we remain competitive in that particular area, especially with what we have going on with China right now, because our relationship with China is absolutely in the trash. You know, China's like going around making deals with other countries behind our back, as they should. China and Canada are directly trading now. I mean, let's just be honest. What Trump is doing is going to take America and drop us, tank us through the floor in terms of respect, in terms of, you know, the dollar, in terms of our reputation, in terms of our safety. It's really all around really, really fucking bad. It's bad. It's really bad. I guess I was listening to a video about Project 2025, and I guess their plan for like dismantling the entire country is supposed to take 6 months. So this is month 1. Can you imagine another full 5 months of this? Wild. Absolutely wild. But, you know, I think that they're on track. So it is what it is, you know, I guess, or something. This is the last story for tonight. It's a little bit of a shorter show. Well, it's still almost 20 minutes and I'm still yapping, so maybe not. But Doge has deleted the 5 biggest savings claims from their website because they were proven false. I love that. I mean, honestly, like anything that makes them feel stupid, I'm cheering. I'm cheering for it. And not that, I don't know, he's probably not capable of feeling stupid because he's, you know, absolutely blitzed out of his mind on Lord knows what. Everything, cocaine, ketamine, I don't even know. Well, you know, we made it through another day. You know, I don't know. I know here in Michigan, it's finally almost 50 degrees. I'm sure it won't stay this way. But I went for a walk today because it was sunny. I took my dog for a walk, and that was so nice. There is something about imminent doom that really like forces you into the moment and makes you appreciate everything. Like, I am really excited. I'm going to hike a ton this summer and spring. I'm going to spend a lot of time in the woods because we just don't know what's coming. And so every moment that I can get of peace or enjoyment, I'm taking it. And I think you should too. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.